From the maiden flight of the Columbia in April of 1981 to the recent flight of the Endeavour in November of 2008, the Space Shuttle has allowed mankind to reach into the heavens. The Space Shuttle is a complex piece of engineering. It consists of three main parts: the orbiter, shown here in front, the external tank, shown here in the rear, and two solid rocket boosters, shown on each side. This right here is the Columbia back in December of 1980, when it first was unveiled to the public. Go ahead and strap on your anti-gravity harness as we explore three main aspects of the Space Shuttle: the history, capabilities and limitations, and also what the proposed replacement for the Space Shuttle is. The first concept of the Space Shuttle was in the 1970s. The demands from different government agencies and by President Nixon required a partially reusable aircraft. The aircraft right here that I showed you is the Space Shuttle, and notice the two components in the back, which consist of three pieces, are detachable and partially reusable. The main reusable part is the orbiter. This would actually go up into space, holding the cargo and holding the crew, and it would actually return back and be used once again. The side boosters would be partially reused, and the external tank, most of the time it was unsalvageable. By 1981, NASA had already had the orbiter ready to fly. The first flight was the Columbia, and it lasted a little over 2 days, returned the crew safely back home. The mission continued, and today there's been over 115 different flights. Since then, these flights have come at a great cost. Roger Pilk Jr. once estimated sometime early last year that since its conception, the Space Shuttle program has cost approximately $170 billion. Through this time, the program has seen triumphs to disasters. On January 28, 1986, the Challenger exploded only 73 seconds after liftoff, killing the crew. In 2003, the Columbia disintegrated upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere and also claimed the lives of all crew members. However, the program has led to numerous intelligence and research satellite deployments. It has also contributed to the construction of the International Space Station, and also has contributed to countless hours of research. Research that otherwise would not have even been able to be completed. And also, the whole space program led to the development of Velcro. That's one of those side notes that's kind of interesting. I mentioned earlier that the Space Shuttle was a complex piece of engineering. I must say that it's quite powerful and impressive. Its three engines operate at temperatures exceeding 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Yet the fuel that actually propels is the second coldest liquid on Earth, somewhere in the neighborhood of negative 423 degrees Fahrenheit. If we were to take a power rating on the engines, it would be over 37 million horsepower. It's very, very powerful engines that are on here. It has three different ones on the bottom. During liftoff and en route to orbit, the orbiter also burns through 5 tons of fuel per second. During this massive use of fuel, it can actually get the Space Shuttle up to over 17,000 miles per hour in only the 8 minutes. Although the engine and the capabilities of the shuttle seem impressive, there are limitations. The Space Shuttle was designed for low Earth orbiting. It was not designed to explore anywhere farther than 200 or so miles above the Earth. Now that may seem very far out, but consider back in the 1960s to put a man on the moon, and that is 227,000 miles. So the orbiter can go 200 miles above the Earth's surface. Back in the 60s, we went 227,000 miles above the Earth's surface. Due to these limitations, and also due to the over 30-year history and use of the orbiter, the Space Shuttle is scheduled for decommissioning in 2010. There's already a replacement plan that they're working on. It's called the Orion spacecraft. The Orion spacecraft is scheduled to make the first flight in 2014. Although nothing's set in stone, the future of the shuttle is definitely coming to an end. They might try to extend it a little bit. It really just depends on what actually gets approved. The Orion is promising to allow for exploration to the moon and beyond. They're talking about other planets such as Mars, especially Mars. With time, the spacecraft, the Orion, will triumph, and although the plan for the new spacecraft is very expensive, man's dream to always look to the stars will not deter the program's success and the program's exploration.